I just watched the Odyssey. You probably did too. You probably went on Letterboxd and probably looked at some reviews. I haven't yet. I want to go take a look. I feel like that's my favorite part of watching a movie is afterwards going on Letterboxd, seeing what other people had to say. So I wanted to make a little series. This is also my first video on the channel. So if you like the idea and want to stick around, maybe watch me do this for other movies in the future, I have a whole bunch of ideas I want to put out there. And I thought this would be super fun. So let's get into it. Letterboxd. Okay, we have Letterboxd. Let's see what's going on. Let's start off with Mr. Joe A. I'm actually what is Cinema Joe? I love Cinema Joe. He is the top review on the Odyssey. What an honor. Joe A says, staggering. Yes, in all the ways you already assume. Every frame grand, spectacular images. The awe of cinema has almost become second nature when dealing with Nolan. Funny enough, the adherence or lack thereof to the fantastical is where a lot of people may find frustration. Fortunately, the true triumph of the Odyssey is so much less about its technical spectacle, which again I must emphasize is sublime, and so much more about Nolan's ability to pressure our pre-existing relationship to a text that's already been so ingrained into the fabric of our culture. What if a hero's defining achievement was also his greatest moral failure? Yes. Like a lot of Nolan's work, the rewatch is where it clicked far more for me. Still a clunky setup, but every scene is recontextualized under the weight of one fateful decision. It also helps that aside from the main cast, who are all very good, the soul of the film exists within some key supporting performances. Yes, yes, yes. I totally agree with that point. Elliot Page, yes. Samantha Morton, Himesh Patel, Zendaya, all absolutely breathtaking. Samantha Morton, I believe, is Cersei in the film. Many more scattered thoughts, but mostly just feeling lucky we get to exist in the world where Nolan makes movies. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with so much that Joe said. I think the text, like he said, it's been around. It's definitely been ingrained into our culture, our society. Everyone knows the story of the Odyssey, Odysseus. It's been a while since we visited it, but still fresh enough for us to realize and remember what's going on. So it's really about what Nolan's spin on it is and what Nolan can do to this amazing story and how he can tell it a little bit differently but still sticking true to what it is because he could have made his own Odyssey, right? He could have written a story similar to the Odyssey that follows similar themes, but no, he chose to do a version of the Odyssey itself, which I think is super important. I think there was a lot of critiques on Nolan and for that exact point of why didn't he choose to do his own story, kind of putting himself in a box to follow the story of the Odyssey. It's very limiting in a sense, right? But I think Nolan still does an incredible job of telling that story, making it fresh, making it a spectacle, and that's probably the biggest point I could make from watching this movie. It's a spectacle. I love that the stories are categorized as epics. I think they are truly epic. I think they're truly on another level, so grand. And I love that Nolan got to put his own eye on it. I love that he got to put his own twist. I agree with a lot of what Joe says. Joe rates it a 4.5. That was my initial reaction coming out of the theater. 4.5. I slept on it. I think it's actually, I loved it. I gave it a 5 stars. But I think I was gonna stick on a 4.5 until I rewatched it. But a rewatch is coming soon. I watched it opening night. I think I'm gonna go again this week. So let's see. Next review is coming in from Rosie. Rosie gives it a 5 star and a like. She says, "What an honor to be able to watch this on a big screen. I hope Homer and my grade 10 self are sharing a seat somewhere. Completely obsessed with this adaptation." Totally agree. I think when Nolan makes a film, you know you're gonna have to watch it in some premium format, whether that's 70 millimeter, regular IMAX. I think Regal does what does Regal do? They do 40x and there's one format I'm thinking of. Leave it in the comments if you know. RPX. I think RPX. I think everything's just louder in RPX. I remember we used to have Regal, but we later switched to AMC. But you have to see Nolan's movies similar to some other directors. You have to see their films in premium formats, or else it just doesn't hit the same. So I totally agree with Rosie here that it's a special movie, right? Whenever you get these big budget grand films, go out, make the extra effort to watch in a premium format. Definitely agree. They were screaming. Oh, is that Rosie? Another person? Oh, it's by people I follow. Ah, I see. The top review, actually, I lied. Joe is my top followed review, but this is the actual most popular review on Letterboxd because, of course, it is. It's all one-liners on Letterboxd that get the most attention. It's by Jer. He gives it a 4.5 star and a like. He says this review may contain spoilers, and it's just rip Odysseus. You definitely would have loved Google Maps. Yeah. I see. It did take him a while, right? Didn't it? It took him like what? Actually, realistically, it did not really take him a while to get back. He kind of knew where he. I mean, he kind of let himself get taken by the ocean. At the end. But yes, Odysseus would have definitely benefited from Google Maps. I hear you. The next one is by Dex. He gives it a 4 star and I like the lowest review we have so far. 4 stars. Can you believe this? He says, "I hope Homer is happy with this film adaptation, and so is Marge." I'm not sure who Marge is. Marge might be the. I think so. Let me in on this, right? I get out of the theater. I start talking to ChatGPT. I start looking into this whole thing, right? I knew the name Homer, but I was like, who's Homer? I was like, I didn't remember when this was written. I was like, so when did this come out? Brother says 800 BC before Christ. That's more than 2,800 years ago. So I'm like, that's a long time ago, right? I was like, do we even have factual evidence that this Homer guy existed? Not to get religious or anything, but it gets dicey when we start talking about factual evidence and what there was and what there isn't. So I was like, and he was like, no, brother. ChatGPT said, no, there's no factual evidence. We actually don't even know if Homer existed. We don't even know if he wrote the story. It might have been later. It was kind of like a passing of tales and stories, and it kind of got combined as things did back in those times. And that later it might have been, I think he said Marge that might have written the story or kind of made the final version what it is. However, this story came about, it's obviously there is some truth that it must have come from around 2,800 years ago, which is actually still like fascinating to think about that these stories were made so long ago and like an unimaginable, like we as a country, the US, were discovered or not discovered, but made independent 300 years ago. Discovered what 400 years ago, and this is what eight, 7 times the length of that this country has been around. I don't know. It's ridiculous. The next most popular review comes in from Jay. He gives it a 5 star and a like, so full 100%. He says, "I love how Odysseus turned into an ancient Greek John Wick after his dog death." Whoa, wait, I actually didn't put those two and two together. That is kind of a coincidence. And maybe John Wick pulls from that kind of like similarity of having his dog die. He goes on a big vengeance. But to talk about that fight scene a little bit, once he returns from Troy, of course, from the long journey, and he gets back to Ithaca, and he's having the battle of the suitors. What an insane scene, right? It did feel very John Wick-esque. So it's actually good that he mentions John Wick in this review. I did think it was very John Wick-esque. It's very fast. It's very shaky, right? The camera, it feels like you're kind of getting thrown all over the place. The way he's shooting the bow, it's like, I get, obviously fictional. Obviously, he has some type of mythical skills, but absolutely ridiculous, that fight scene. The next review comes in from Ted Yu. This is actually a recent review. So we've done 2 of my mutual reviews. We've done 3 popular reviews. Let's see some recent reviews. Let's see what the average common person getting out of the theater right now is thinking. So for the first recent review, somebody that just came out of the theater as we're filming this, rated it 4 stars and not a like, Ted Yu. He said, "It's not about the destination, it's about the journey and friends you lost along the way." Very true. This is a very popular saying that definitely applies to this movie and the journey of the Odyssey. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey and friends you lost along the way. Which, yes, Homer writes the story of the Odyssey. Odysseus having to make those sacrifices kind of tells the tale of having to sacrifice and being a leader and the cost that can have on you and the sacrifices you have to make, the decisions and importances that lie on you. So very well put, very well applied from Ted Yu, saying it's not about the destination, it's about the journey and friends you lost along the way. Which I saw was I was watching. Shout out to what is it? The Docking podcast. What is it? What are they called? The Escape Pod. The Escape Pod. I saw the net guy, the hat guy. He said his one big critique of the film was that the film stuck to the story a little bit too much, and the middle of the film gets kind of repetitive of going from island to island, jumping from boss to boss, and it's kind of just meet Big Boss, run away from Big Boss, lose like 50% of your crew. Which again, to go back to what I was saying, it's hard. Nolan, of course, limits himself by following the story of the Odyssey. He could have chose to make his own version of the Odyssey, make a similar journey-esque film, but no, he chose the Odyssey, and that's he has to follow. I saw that a lot of the things that were in the book or in the story didn't make the film, and that he had to cut like over an hour of film because of the 70 millimeter reels can't film for that long. But yeah, I mean, Nolan had to follow the steps of the film. He had to follow the journey. He had to include that. So if you choose the Odyssey, you film the Odyssey. So that was that. Next, the next recent review. This person just came out of the theater, gave it a 4.5 stars. This comes in from Ash. 4.5 stars. Just puts he's so tough. He's so tough. She might be talking about Magomedov, not Mega Man, Megalodon, his name, Magnom. She might be thinking about Agamemnon. Hold on, I gotta search this up. Odyssey? No. Right here. Benny Safdie. Agamemnon. Yeah, Agamemnon. Can we talk about Agamemnon? Look, can I put right here? Boom. Aura, bro. Aura, look at him, bro. I thought the suit was so cool. Oh, that's another thing people were complaining online about a fictional story, mind you, saying the costumes and costume designs weren't accurate to the times, which I think is a bunch of BS. If you ask me, I think I like the decision. It makes Nolan's film, like, as much as a box as he's confined in. These are the little creative choices that Nolan gets to make for filming the Odyssey. It's not going to be a one-to-one. It's not going to be what was used in that time because the story's still fictional. Obviously, these things that happen. Obviously, we get to have a little fun with this. These are choices that you do get to make in the retelling of the Odyssey. So, bunch of BS for saying that the costumes design weren't accurate to the times. I liked it, and it made the film way more cooler looking. Next popular review comes in from George Carmi. George Carmi gives it a 5 stars, 100%. Gives it a like as well. Gives it that orange heart on Letterboxd, and says, "I wish I had something more meaningful to say right now, but I am at a major loss for words. Several instances, I found my body having a physical reaction to the pure filmmaking magic that I was experiencing. My eyes watered, my body began shaking, and I could feel an overwhelming visceral reaction consume me as Ludwig Göransson's poetic composition flowed through my being. Christopher Nolan, thank you for making a film of such sheer ambition." George, I agree, right? George, I agree with a lot of what you're saying. Maybe not to the same sentiment of you. I personally did not have any visceral body shaking, or none of that. My eyes did water. I think when Odysseus finally returned home and finally has that meeting with Spider-Man. I did tear up a little bit. The dog passing away and him getting home. Nolan did a great job. Nolan did a great job making that a sentimental moment for everybody. Very, very bravo. George, a little glaze on this one. A little bit of glaze. I think, body began shaking. I don't think that I get if you have a true passion for filmmaking and honestly, I get that. I've had some pretty I could get pretty emotional. I can get pretty reactive to a lot of art that I feel passionate about. And maybe he was just having one of those moments. It is a grand film. Just reading this off a first look, it looks like a little bit of glaze, but George, I hope that's true. I hope that you had that type of reaction to this, and then wrote this afterwards because it's beautiful, man. Art is beautiful. Movies are beautiful. Go out there and watch more movies. I hope a movie makes you feel like that. The next one, Connor Eats Pants. Why do I know this name? Connor Eats Pants. Who is this? Connor Eats Pants. Connor Eats Pants. I know the name. I've never seen this bloke though. I don't think I know this bloke. Looks like he has some type of podcast or does some Sonic thing. I don't know. I know the name though. Connor Eats Pants. Interesting name. Connor Eats Pants says, gives it a 5 stars and a like on Letterboxd. He says, "I continue to believe that bringing the horse back to the city was a fair decision, given the information made available to me at the time." Connor was apparently at the gates of Troy, or on Troy's team. Fair decision. I mean, right? It was like a peace offering for the whole Trojan War thing going on. I mean, they stabbed the swords. They checked it. I think they did their due diligence for as much as what we can count on. It would have been nice. It still is a nice gesture from the Ithacans. So The next one comes in from Dre Wahix. Gives it a 4 stars, a little bit lower than the common consensus, and gives it that like on Letterboxd. He says, "You're laughing. The first film ever shot entirely in IMAX ends with a Travis Scott song, and you're laughing." Who's laughing, brother? I'm not laughing. You're laughing. First film. Is he saying people found it a little bit ridiculous that Travis Scott started the film and in a way ends the film as well? It's definitely a choice, right? I think I honestly I did let out a little chuckle when the film. I mean, come on, the film begins and it's Travis Scott, dum dum, and I mean, I'm he's the guy from Fortnite, that whole joke, but it's cool. Honestly, in retrospect and in actuality, Nolan choosing Travis Scott to be the opening shot of his film. Come on, that's typical. I think for Travis, that's like a really cool thing. I think I would brag about that if I was Travis Scott. In actuality, if he wasn't Travis Scott on it, we wouldn't even be talking about this. It's a cool shot. It's funny at first, but in actuality, I hear it. This one comes in from Yashley. Sorry, I read it a little bit ahead. She gives it a 4.5 stars, and that like on Letterboxd says, "Do not ever travel anywhere with Matt Damon." I agree. I saw what he did in Interstellar. Not a big fan of Matt Damon in Interstellar. What the hell was that about? Where else does he? What else is Matt Damon in that he has to? Let me see. Oh yeah, he the Martian. I haven't watched The Martian, but he is the Martian. Hopefully he. I don't know if he does something in that. Eddie Burback. Another popular review, 5,773 likes on Letterboxd. He says movies like this are why the screen is big. Yes, 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 yes. Again, like I talked about before, premium formats. Go watch the Odyssey. I would love to. I'm still trying to get 70mm tickets. It's looking like I'm gonna have to wait a while, unless I just go front row. Which honestly, even the front row tickets are selling out at this point. Eventually, I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get a ticket, and I'm gonna go watch it in 70mm. I can't wait. I'm yet to watch a film on 70mm. I wish I would have got to catch Sinners on 70mm because I did love Sinners last year. But again, let me know if you guys watched it in 70mm and IMAX and like different formats. Let me know what you guys think is actually worth it. The common consensus is that it is worth it, and you should go watch it in 70mm. But let me know what you guys think. The next review comes in from Mac. Gives it a 4 stars, 9,000 likes on Letterboxd. 9,000 likes on Letterboxd. He says Christopher Nolan goes absolutely sicko mode in the third act. My God. Uh, totally agree. We get the Odyssey. We get Odysseus getting back to Ithaca, greeting Spider-Man Tom Holland, Telemachus. We get Dog, greeting. We get him being disguised as a beggar, going to the battle of the suitors for Penelope's hand in marriage. The suitors trying to string the bow and then shoot through the axis. He mogs and bow mogs them and shoots through all the axes. Therefore, everyone realizes he is Odysseus. Then we get the incredible battle of the suitors. We get Tom Holland finally getting his win in a little duel upstairs where the swords were. He absolutely tears every suitor to shreds. Kind of shows Robert Pattinson who is the real boss here. We get the incredible monologue to Penelope. Finally get to see each other again after 17, 18 years that Odysseus has been on this journey. It's a beautiful moment. Monologue is incredible. The Athena, Zendaya being Athena, the depiction of the statue with the slicing of the head. I mean, beautiful. That's honestly one of the more emotional parts of the film. Of course, the ending. You realize, they're the bad ones. They're the people of the sea. They're the ones that we should be scared of. Truly, truly, truly incredible. We get the similarities between Odysseus and you walk out of the movie theater saying, huh, he's a little bit like Oppenheimer, right? Kind of becoming the evil, kind of realizing after it's too late that you caused this. You are, right? Incredible. Oh, this one's by Seth's Reviews. He gives it a 4.5 stars. Doesn't drop a like. I think people. I don't actually. I don't think I drop likes either, or a lot of the time, even if I really like a movie. But he gives it a 4.5 stars. Of course, really liking the film. He says in many ways the perfect follow up to Oppenheimer, centered on a damaged leader whose actions bring suffering upon many. Like Oppenheimer creating the bomb, totally get it. Odysseus follows in that same suit. Structurally, feels very similar too. It's considerably more restrained than I had imagined. Spent a lot of time with Odysseus, simply reflecting on the consequences. Yes, there are many moments in the film where I do feel that, where Odysseus is reflecting on his, his sacrifices, what he's had to do, what he's had to go through, what he's had to give up, and the choices he's had to make. A grapple with guilt, perfectly put. I'm sure Nolan's penchant for constant back and forth shifts will irritate a few in this one more than most, but I love how it unfolds throughout. Obviously, the loud moments are extremely loud. Very true. I heard a lot of people complaining, not only in the boat scene with the big thunderstorm, as well as some of the battle scenes towards the end. It does get very loud, and it's like a thing with Nolan now that things he likes it when it gets loud. Um, every set piece has an ineffable sense of scale. They feel gigantic and imposing. Of course, with the Cyclops, we get the island with the Iron Giants. We get Cersei with her incredible flock of different animals. We get the hell scene of him visiting Hades. Can we talk about how cool that scene, Hades? The island full of soldiers. Nolan said that every person that you see on screen is actually there, is practical. It's not effects. So Nolan, an incredible attention to detail, incredible attention and importance on um, practicalness of practicality. Ridiculous. Every set piece has an ineffable sense of scale. Like you said, they feel gigantic and imposing. It's absurdly ambitious. Some of the most striking parts for me were the horror inspired bits. Yes, 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 yes. Cyclops, like I said, incredibly done. Cyclops, real, not effects, an actual puppet. Maybe I'll put a picture right here of the way they constructed it and kind of made that scene come to life. Can't wait to see some of the behind the scenes. I'm yet to explore that. But yeah, Cyclops, the Cersei moments. Nolan putting his toe into like his little horror bag. I've heard that he has some intentions of doing something in horror. That'd be absolutely mind blowing. Really feels like a world bound by fear. Yes, the closing act is breathtaking. 100% agree. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Oh man, Ludwig's score. I saw that was another thing. I mean, I think scores. I think you have to take your time with a score. I'm like, I coming out of the theater, I wasn't like thinking about the score. I think a score. Honestly, it might be cooler when a score is so intertwined with the film that you don't even notice it. It's beautiful in that sense, you know. Maybe I'm glazing. But oh man, Ludwig's score, brain tingling. Yes. As I've gone back, I hear what people are saying. The score does sound very, very good. The strangest thing is that I thought it was stumbling a bit during the first 15 to 20 minutes. I was almost worried. I can confirm that feeling lasted no time at all. Samantha Morton is obvious is the obvious standout. Samantha Morton, just to double check and to make sure, like I said in the beginning, I do believe she is Cersei. Samantha Morton, Samantha Morton, Samantha Morton. I do not see a Samantha Morton, so I'm going to assume that that is Cersei. Samantha Morton, Cersei. Yes, Samantha Morton was very good. Like I said, that scene was incredible. The body horror stuff. She did an amazing job. And there was one thing. Oh yeah, the beginning. This will be the final point. I saw people critiquing the beginning of the film for being a little slow or just um takes a bit of time to get to where you want it to. I did not feel like this at all. I thought the beginning was like extremely fast paced. Notice this on your next watch. It feels like the dialogue is so snappy. We go from convo to convo. There's not a breath in between each line. The basis of this film, I think, is necessary. I think for many average casual viewers, people that have never even read a line from the Odyssey, didn't read it in school, new viewers, older viewers, I think you can't just skip over the beginning. And I think Nolan, with what he needed to say and with what he needed to write for this film, I thought his delivery was good. And I know I'm glazing a little bit, but notice it. Go rewatch it. Tell me those lines weren't delivered with fast paced, um, quick cuts, convo to convo. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, yeah. That's all I had to say. Go rewatch it. But that's it. Those we just went through a whole bunch of reviews on Letterboxd. Link your Letterboxd reviews in the comments below. I would love to do one of your guys's, or maybe do a future video where I go through some of your guys's recent reviews for the Odyssey. That'd be super cool. Let me know what you guys thought of the movie. Let me know what you guys think of this video. Let me know if you guys want me to do this video for many more movies coming out in the future, or movies that have come out in the past. Maybe we'll do like We'll go through some reviews of some popular films or the top 100 on Letterboxd or something. That sounds like a lot of fun. Like I said, going on Letterboxd, reading the reviews is truly one of the most joyous parts of the movie experience. Now, truly, I think it's such a cool place where us movie enjoyers get to go and share our experiences about going to the theater, watching older movies. Just a very cool place to be as a movie enjoyer. If you guys don't have Letterboxd, I truly, truly, truly recommend going on there, make an account, go review movies, man. I think I spent so many years of my life not being able to like write down my thoughts. So many movies that like uh I honestly don't even remember how I truly feel about these movies. Even you watch movies 2, 3, 4 years ago. They like let's if you weren't logging, you have no idea how you truly still feel about that film. And Letterboxd gives you that space in that format. I know you could do it offline or in your notes app, but it's such a cool place to be. It's such a cool place to write down your thoughts and share with the world. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, check out my letterbox down in the description. I'm sure I'll follow back a whole bunch of people if you guys do drop a follow. But if you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like. This is my first video, so if you enjoyed, drop a sub. I'd be truly overwhelmed with anybody that subscribes to the channel and actually like the video. I truly thank you. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.